Hi there, this is Mary from VoIP. The objective of this video is to help you implement the initial installation of a FusionPBX server hosted through Amazon Lightsail. Before we get started, here's a little bit about us. We are VoIP service providers, and we have a multitude of different plans ranging from $16 every month to $50 every month. We also have a cloud-based hosted solution plan, which is $15 every month, and it's perfect for businesses with multiple sites. If you would like any additional information, please don't hesitate to visit www.voiphubs.com, or you may click on the link with the description box below. Now let's begin. The first thing you will need is an account. The account can be an Amazon account, an account hosted locally, or an account hosted on other platforms. But today I'll be using AWS. Upon clicking Create an Instance, you'll be met with this specific interface. Under Instance Location, please choose the location you desire. I have chosen Virginia Zone A. Next, we must pick the instance image. The platform we'll be using is Linux/Unix, and the blueprint we'll be using is Debian 10.8. To be able to get to that, please click on OS only and then click on Debian 10.8. You may choose any of the other versions of Debian, but I'll be choosing this one for this video. If you scroll down, you see that you have the capability of enabling automatic snapshots. What this does is it takes automatic snapshots of your server periodically depending on the time of day in which you have configured. This is a great way to ensure that you have a restore point to go back to in case any complication happens within your server. Next, we must choose the plan. I'll be choosing the $3.50 plan, but as you can see, it goes up to $160. Upon picking your plan, please click on the text box under the Identify Your Instance label. This is where you would title your instance. So I'll be picking FusionPBX_training. Upon doing all of the above, please scroll down and click on Create Instance. Once you do so, this will create your server for you. Once you have created your instance, you will be taken back to the AWS dashboard. As you can see, my instance currently states that it's running. At first, it will showcase that it's pending. Please wait for it to finish, and then you may do the following. Click on the three vertical dots, and then click on Manage. Upon doing so, click on Networking. There are two important aspects within this interface. The first one is the IPv4 networking public IP aspect. By default, AWS will assign you a public IP, but you may purchase a public static IP and attach that to your instance. The second aspect, and probably the most essential one, is the IPv4 firewall. There are certain ports or ranges that need to be open for FusionPBX to correlate properly with any platform that is planning on using it. You wonder, what are those ports or ranges? Well, you can find this information on FusionPBX docs by typing in firewall. I will also attach this specific link within the description box below. Once we have the information that we need, we can go back and add our rules. So the first rule that we'll be adding is the TCP rule, which is 5060 to 5090. Upon typing in on the port or range, you may click Create. The second rule that we will add is the UDP 5060 to 5090. So under protocol, change it to UDP and then type in 5060 to 5090. The next protocol is the UDP RTP protocol, which is 16,384 to 32,768. Under protocol, please click on UDP and then paste that range in. As you can see, by default, SSH port 22 and HTTP port 80 have already been added, so all we need to do is add HTTPS. Under Applications, please click the drop-down menu and click on HTTPS, and by default, it already assigns you the port 443. Please click on Create. Upon doing the following, we are set to go for the firewall aspect. If you scroll up, you see that you have a Snapshots tab. If for whatever reason you either forgot or chose not to enable snapshots in the beginning of the installation, you are capable of doing that through this specific tab. Okay, Now we can go back to the dashboard and truly begin the FusionPBX installation. There are specific commands that you will need to implement within your instance command line to be able to start the installation of FusionPBX. These commands can be found on the FusionPBX docs quick install. Once you have reached the specific interface, which I will also be linking within the description box below, you may scroll down. The two commands are the wget command and the cd command. So let's start off with the wget command. Please copy the command and go back to your dashboard. Please click on the command line of your instance, and upon doing so, you will be met with this specific interface. As you can see, you are currently logged in as admin. To be able to execute these commands, you would need to be a root user. To be able to do that, please type in sudo -i. And as you can see, you are currently under the root user. Once you have done that, please paste in the command and click enter. This process may take a little bit of time. Generally, the first command takes a lot less time than the second command, so please wait for it to finish, and then upon finishing, we may continue. Now that the installation has completed for the first command, we may go back and implement the second command, which starts off with cd. This command will take a little bit longer to finish the implementation, so please be patient when it comes to this. We go back to the command line, we paste in, and we click enter. Once the installation has been completed, you will be met with this specific interface. As you can see, the domain name has a private IP address. Because we're hosted, we'll be using the public IP address to log in to our FusionPBX server. To be able to get that, please click on your instance's title, and then you will see beside public IP is your public IP. Please open a new browser, paste it in, and click enter. Upon doing so, you will be taken to the FusionPBX dashboard. Now, your username is admin@172.26.4.109. You'll be able to remember this because the username starts with admin@, and this is the only way you'll be able to log in using this specific username rather than the one above it. So, let's take that and paste it in. Upon pasting that in, let's go back and copy and paste in the password that's given to us. Once we have done that and clicked login, you will see that you will now be logged into your FusionPBX server. Right away, you will see that you have been logged in through the private IP address. What we need to do is we also need to implement the public IP address given to us so we are able to access the server wherever we are by creating a username and password. So, how do you add the public IP address? I have already done this for this server, but I will show you. You may go to Advanced, Domains, and as you can see, I have added the public IP. But to be able to do that, you just click on Add, and then you paste in the public IP within the name text box, and then click Save. So now you have the public IP as well as the private IP. Please click on the top right menu and then click on the public IP. Once you are actually inside the 18 domain, you may go to Accounts, Users. We need to create a distinct account or user to be able to log into the server without having to constantly put in the very long password or the very specific username. So let's click Add and then Begin. You may have the username whichever one you please, but please make sure that there is no capitals. Then we pick a password, ABC. Please make sure that your password is 12 length long, that has numbers, lowercase, uppercase, and special, but I will not be putting in a password for this example. Please put in your email, and there are two important aspects that you need to make sure to have up and running. The first one is the status. You want to make sure that the status is available. And the second, and probably the most essential aspect, is the groups. Because you are the owner of the server, you make sure that you put yourself as the super admin. Now, please make sure if you have a multi-tenant server that has a multitude of different domains and you create a user for one of your clients, do not give them super admin privileges. Because if you do that, they will have access to every other domain or multi-domain that you may have within this server. Upon finishing, please click Save, log out, and now you're able to log in using your new user. Now this completes the final installation of the FusionPBX server. Please stay tuned for my next video, which will show you step by step on how to actually configure the server itself. Before I go, please note that as you see, my public IP has changed. This is due to the fact that I stopped and restarted the server. This may become a bit problematic if you do not put a public static IP on your instance. So if for whatever reason you need to stop and restart the server, you'll be giving a brand new IP address. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that it helped you get to exactly where you need to be. And once again, please stay tuned for the next aspect of this tutorial, which I will show you how to properly configure your FusionPBX server to receive incoming calls and make outgoing calls. Thank you. This is Mary from VoIP, and I hope you have yourself a wonderful day.